I am here to share with you my story of why stewardship is so important to me. Marrying into the Reid family, I came to Columbus as a bride of Reid 55 years ago and joined First Presbyterian Church, being welcomed by a warm and loving congregation. Now, 55 years later, we are all experiencing the effects of an unprecedented pandemic in our lives. As it relates to our church, I've had many hours to reflect on what this church and this family of faith has meant to me. I began with our children and youth who have grown up here during these years and have taken what they learned from devoted Sunday school teachers and youth leaders. They've taken these life lessons and faith lessons and now apply them to their own lives as they come in contact with others. I think of our service and mission programs such as Operation Christmas Child, Rise Against Hunger, the Food Pantry, and Meals on Wheels that demonstrate this church's commitment and love for those in our community and the world who have real needs. Another special memory has been the many active seniors throughout the years, 40, 50, 60 years older than I, who were constant in their faith and service at First Presbyterian and shared their love of God with those younger. I saw this in ways these older people helped develop the lives of my two children, who, of course, are adults now. Leslie, who is an active member of this church, and John, who practices medicine in Atlanta, but still calls this his church home. A funny story to share with you. John was a mere 4-year-old when at our Christmas Eve service, he was sitting between his great aunt from Pennsylvania and me. Aunt Lucille was wearing a lovely mink coat. Sitting close beside her, John kept leaning against that soft fur. Whispering, he looked up at me and asked me as he pointed to her coat, "What is that?" I answered him, "It's a fur coat. Isn't it soft?" He replied, "Well, someday I'm going to get one of those for you." I still don't have that coat. But what I have is a wonderful memory of a 4-year-old who grew up in this church, learning of God's love for him and showing his own care for others. Here at First Presbyterian, we have been blessed with wonderful leadership from pastors and staff, our diaconate and session, pointing us every day to live our lives to the glory of God. We are all inspired by our fabulous music program, our organist and choir master, our adult choir, and our dedicated CSU choir and instrumentalists. We come to this place to worship our loving, forgiving God and to grow in our faith. In response, we give back to God with our time, our talents, and our gifts. Although the past several months have been quite challenging for all of us, I have faith that God will continue to bless the legacy of this church. We all have been so very blessed. Thanks be to God.